Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Correlation Nation. You're tuning into the PropSpot, and today it is March 22nd. I think we got an 8-game slate, so we're going to go ahead and dive straight into it. That way we can, get this thing over with. But let me pull up my notes, drag this down, get it out of the way. All right, so at the top we have Wimby, 10 rebounds. So I think his per 36 is like right around 12 and a half. He's a pretty strong rebounder. He's in a good spot. He plays typically right around 30 minutes. And even though it shows that it's a pretty good spot on paper, it's a spot where it's like it's good then bad, good then bad, good then bad. So it averages that it is a good spot. And, the dude's ginormous. So I think 10 rebounds is a pretty safe play. And the 19 points, I'd be a little bit. I mean, he's getting pretty good touch time, but he hasn't been shooting the ball extremely well. But here to the right, I have marked blocks. I think, Memphis, they are like second in the league at giving up blocks, and Wimby's a very strong shot blocker. So that's something you want to take note of. We could be looking at a block props on him. It's not something I would typically run and do, but just something you want to take note of. 7 rebounds on, I don't know if I'm not sure if that's Sohan or Sochan, or either way. 7 rebounds on him. I mean, it's a pretty doable number. He's not a strong rebounder. And again, like I said, the matchup kind of, it's back and forth. So it's probably not something I'm going to run and do, but it is a very live number. Olenek, 6 rebounds. The role's going to be there, but just not a strong rebounder. Aldama at 5 rebounds. This is a prop I like a little bit more. They're going against the Spurs, and the Spurs are pretty bad at rebounding the ball. But, when Wimby's on the court, I'd say he's going to eat up, quite a few of those rebounds. But, 5's a pretty low number, so I think that's a pretty likely number. And that's a prop that I actually do like quite a bit. So the Wimby rebounds and the Aldama rebounds, those are 2 props I like quite a bit. Chet at 7 rebounds. Again, this is a guy who's not super strong at rebounding the ball, but 7's a pretty doable number. And then 14 points, which is also a doable number. I'm not going to say I really love these props. I think it's a pretty wide line as well. They're playing Toronto, and they don't have much to offer. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark that this is a wide line. Anthony Davis at 11 rebounds. He is questionable. I'd say he's pretty likely to play. That's a prop I do like. 22 points. I don't mind that either. It's a bit tougher of a matchup. But, 22 points is obviously very achievable for him. LeBron's questionable as well. He seems to be questionable most of the time, and also plays through that most of the time. But 7 rebounds and 20 points. I mentioned this the other day. 20 points is a number that he's hit throughout his career pretty regularly. This year he's down a little bit, hitting just below that. But 20 points is a very doable number. And also I'd like to mention that he's actually been playing really well lately. So I should mark him that he's hot. So if LeBron is playing, I think the points prop is pretty live. The rebound prop is live as well. But again, not the strongest rebounder. And AD on the opposing side, I would say I'd like his rebound prop a little bit more than LeBron's. Zubac at 8 rebounds. There's a good chance that he's going to get there today. But again, he's a volatile play. You don't know what his role is going to be day in and day out. PG's been hot. His jumper and his shot's been falling. 5 rebounds. Probably not going to run and play that rebound prop. But the 22 points is very live. I don't know. It's a guy. Right now he's primary because he's got the hot hand. So the ball's kind of moving, or he's taking a lot of the shots. But you have PG, Kawhi, and Harden. So at any point, one of these guys can have a good game, and it's going to cut into the production. I like this prop, but as much as I like it, if you can get it at 18, I'm going to like it a lot more. So just keep that in mind. Kawhi, 5 rebounds, 23 points. Again, same thing, as far as the rebound prop goes. I'm not running to play that. But, it is a live number. And then 23 points. I mean, you can play it. But, just like I said with PG, if I can get this around 20. Let's say we get Kawhi around 20. I'm going to like that more than the 23. But again, 22 for PG, 23 for Kawhi, very doable numbers. Draymond's got a questionable tag. Their team's in a position where they really need these wins. And so there's a good chance that he is going to play. 6 rebounds. He's been rebounding the ball extremely well. But again, not a very strong rebounder. But 6 rebounds is pretty doable. He is playing and starting at the center position in a pretty favorable matchup. So Draymond 6 rebounds, that's pretty live. Brandon Podziemski, or for the life of me, I'm not exactly sure what his name is. We don't want to do him dirty. Podziemski. Okay, so Brandon Podziemski, 4 rebounds. You know, I do like his rebound prop. He is a guard, so it's something you always want to be a little bit cautious of. Before rebounds is a low number, and he's a high-energy guy. He typically gets there. You know, his per 36 is around 8 rebounds, and he plays pretty good minutes. So 4 rebounds on him is a pretty good number. Trace, 5 rebounds, 8 points. You know, you don't know exactly what his role is going to be day in and day out, but he's been playing right around, you know, like half a run, 24 to 26 minutes, I'd say. 5 rebounds, 8 points. It's a pretty doable number. We'll pull him up real quick just for a bit of reference. See what he has been doing. And, you know, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 9, 3, 9, 10, 6. Minutes, 26, 26, 21, 25, 26. So here recently he's been playing, like I said, right around those mid-20s. And, yeah, I would say, though, you know, he, again, is also in a pretty favorable matchup. And so those are pretty live numbers. But, again, the role's just a little bit uncertain. Miles Turner, 7 rebounds, 12 points. I think the 12 points is pretty likely. The 7 rebounds, again, this guy's not a very strong rebounder. I don't love that. I would like to mention that with the matchup that they're in, and I'm not exactly sure who they're playing, but I know I was looking at this, and it was something that was crossing my mind whenever I was... So they're playing Golden State. So I would be a little bit cautious of what his role is going to be today. You know, with Draymond Green starting at the center, do these guys go small? I think that's a possibility. And then you could see this guy's role and his minutes get cut down. But we don't know that. I still think the 12 points is pretty live. But just take note that his role is subject to be changed. I mean, it just is. Bamba, 5 rebounds. He's a guy that I don't, you know, Bamba and Reed, they split minutes. Reed, I think, gets the better of the minutes. He is a better rebounder, but Bamba at 5 rebounds. He's been getting there lately, but again, these are volatile plays. I don't love him. Tobias, he is questionable. He's been missing, so he's coming back. If he does play, he's coming back from injury. I think there's a chance he plays today. 5 rebounds. I don't know. The guy's been extremely cold. He's not been playing very well. But again, he's coming back from injury. It's just not something I'm going to be playing. Gobert, he's questionable as well. You know, I got him at 12 rebounds, 8 points. I got the red arrow just underneath it because even though it's a likely number, I like that number lower. So if I can find him at 10 and 11, if he plays, I like those numbers more than the 12. Bit of a tough matchup, but he's a very strong rebounder, so it's more than achievable for him. 8 points, tough matchup. I wouldn't say he's like a primary offensive scoring threat, but 8 points is a pretty low number. Naz Reid, I think he's like a game time decision, like a true game time decision. 5 rebounds, 13 points. I'm probably not going to be playing this guy just based off the questionable tag. And we'll just move on. Duren, 10 rebounds, 11 points. I do like these numbers. A bit of a tough matchup. Again, you see the red arrow just underneath the 10. You know, you get to 8 or 9. You like a little bit more. But I think the 11 points is pretty live number, even though it is a tough matchup. Again, these matchups are these are just based off, you know, what the opposing defense gives up, like points per game. And so even though it's showing as a red matchup to Duren, I think they're playing Boston. And Boston, you know, you're looking at either like Al Horford, which Horford's not, I guess, like the worst defender, but he's a bit up there in age. And then Porzingis. Yeah. So I don't really hate it, honestly. 11 points, I think that's pretty doable for him. So that's a prop that I may be looking at. Wiseman, he's been getting minutes, and he's been rebounding the ball extremely well. That's why I got this rebound highlighted orange. A volatile play, you don't know what the role's going to be, but that 5 rebounds, that's a live prop. You know, if he somehow finds a way to get the minutes, and you're talking like 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, he's not getting big minutes, but he's just rebounding the ball so well right now. Averaging 18 minutes and 7 rebounds. Yeah, I mean, look at this. 9, 5, 6, 7, 10, 9, 12. Recently, yeah, as of late, this guy's he's getting there, and it's a prop you can look at. Tatum's questionable. From what I understand, they're either going to set Tatum or Jaylen Brown, and we'll just have to kind of wait and see. We have no real idea. But 7 rebounds, 25 points. I like his props if he's in. Porzingis at 6 rebounds. I don't love this guy's rebound prop ever. Jaylen Brown, 5 rebounds, 21 points. He's had the hot hand. 5 rebounds. I'm not going to run to play that. But if he's playing 21 points and even higher, I'm going to probably look at. J-Val, 6 rebounds. I think he'll get there. So he's typically been playing right around 20 to 24 minutes. And even though his minutes have been cut down lately, Brandon Ingram got hurt yesterday, and that could help him. That could benefit him, because if Trey Murphy, I believe Trey Murphy's the reason that he's been getting cut down, because New Orleans wants to play him, and he was coming off the bench, so he was getting cut down because they were playing him. Well, without Brandon Ingram in the lineup, Trey Murphy's now going to move into the starting lineup, and that could potentially open up a few more minutes for Jonas Valanciunas. And so even though it is a bit of a tougher matchup, he's a very, very strong rebounder. And this 6 rebounds is based off, like, if he's getting, say his per 36 is like right around 13 rebounds, you cut that in half, so you're like 6.5. And then if he gets a few more minutes back, you could very well see this guy go over 7-8 rebounds. And so if you can get this at 6, you might really, really want to consider it. Zion, 6 rebounds. Again, not a super strong rebounder. He got there yesterday, and then 20 points. Bit of a tougher matchup. We did come down on the points prop just a bit today. But, again, Brandon Ingram being out, I think that the 20 points is pretty live for him, especially since he has been hot. Bam, he's questionable. I don't have a mark, but Bam is questionable today. He's been very hot. The rebounds have been there. The points have been there. But Jimmy Butler's come back, and that's going to cut into his offensive role. So I'm not going to love the points prop, but the rebound prop is, I would say, pretty live if he's playing. Look at it and, make a decision based off what you think, but the rebound prop's not the worst. Jared Allen, 10 rebounds. Tough matchup, 15 points. Yeah, I kind of like this guy's props. Really, both of them. I don't mind him. Even though, it is a tough matchup, I like Jared Allen's props. He's been going over the 15 points regularly. They need the offense and then the rebounds. I think the potential for more than 10 rebounds is there. But obviously, if you can get it at 10, you're going to take it. Ayton, 10 rebounds, 20 points. Again, tough matchup. Same matchup there in the other day. I believe they're playing the Clippers again. He definitely fell this the other day. These numbers have come down just a bit. But, he's been averaging more than 10 rebounds per game. And, 20 points is more than doable as well. I am going to cut back my expectations just a bit on this guy because, again, he is pretty inconsistent throughout his career. So it is a volatile play. But 10 rebounds, 20 points. If he's playing well, he'll get there. Curry, 25 points. Yeah, if his shot's falling, he's going to get there. But, 25 points is a lot, and if his shot's not falling, he's not going to get there. So I'm not running a place this bet. I actually like Kuminga 19 points a lot more than Curry's. You know, as I've said in the past, this guy's got a lot more ways of getting there. And I think that the opposing defense matches up better for Kuminga than Curry. So I will be looking at the Kuminga prop. Clay, volatile play, just like Curry. You know, if the shot's not falling, you ain't going to get there. But 18's, like, you'd be able to find this number probably a lot lower than 18. And so you'd get pretty good odds at 18. And I think it's a live bet. You know, again, you don't want to put it on a bunch of your parlays because if his shot's not falling, he's just going to kill them all. But, you know, he has been getting there pretty regularly. Pretty fair matchup. And, you know, you should get good odds on this. Jaren Jackson Jr., 19 plus points. Good matchup. Yeah, I don't hate this prop at all. I actually like it. Baines, I think he's out. I don't even think, I mean, he was doubtful, and I think that he's out. So that even makes Jaren Jackson a little more live. I'm not sure if you'll be able to find 19 points. But, you know, even if you can get him at 21, 22, I think it's still pretty reasonable. GG Jackson, I had him as a volatile play. You know, 19 points is a bit high. I'm not sure. You know, I think he had a career high the other day. This bet, or this guy, I have him, again, marked as volatile. But he should be playing a pretty heavy role. And he's more incapable of getting there. You know, secondary guy, I would say, considering... you know, the injury report. So if you can get him at a little bit lower than that, take it, you know, 16, 17. But again, yeah, you don't want to put him in a bunch of stuff. But I think it's a live bet. SGA, 30 points. You know, this guy gets there regularly. It is a good matchup. But I would say, you know, I mentioned this earlier with Chet. It's a pretty wide line. Be careful with this. But even though it's a wide line, there is one thing working in our favor, and that is that this is like his only game in Canada. And SJ's Canadian. So, I mean, they may just run this guy either way. I mean, blowout or not. I mean, you don't want to bank on that. But I would say it's still probably pretty easy for him to get to 30. And if it is a blowout, there's a good chance he got to 30. So, I think it's still a live bet. Like, I'm not going to turn my head just because... you know, the opposing team is in shambles. Like, you never know. I mean, these guys are all NBA players. There's a lot of times you see a bunch of backups step in and, you know, have a competitive game. So, I don't know. You just don't want to discredit the opposing team too much. Jalen Williams, 18 points. You know, kind of obviously the same situation as far as the line. But, yeah, I mean, this guy can score over 18 points pretty easily. Maxey, 24 points. It's a live bet, but I will say that whoever they're playing against, and I'm not sure off the top of my head, but, you know, it's again one of those things that I just kind of have a bit of a mental note that they're playing against LA, and LA is typically pretty good against the guard, which is odd because their guards aren't the best defenders, but, you know, they're going to do something. I almost see him still limiting this guy just a bit. So I don't know if I'm going to go crazy running to place this bet. But it's a live number. I mean, he can get to 24 pretty easily. It just... I've noticed this. Oubre at 18 points. He's been extremely hot. Tobias is probably coming back. But 18 points is pretty doable for him. Halliburton, 14 points, not been shooting the ball well, and has actually reduced the amount of shots he's taken. And so I think you can still look to play that assist prop. You know, when you got a guy, and I mentioned this yesterday, when you got a guy that is naturally a distributor and is not shooting the ball well, he's going to look to distribute. So you can look to play the 9 assists, and then Siakam, 18 points. I don't hate that, you know, and then you even have 8 rebounds, which, you know, he's not the strongest rebounder, but he's been rebounding the wall pretty well as of late. So do what you will with that, but, you know, the 9 assists on Halliburton, you know, even 10 potentially, and then 18 points. I like those. Nimhard, 7 points. He's probably going to get extended run tonight, just for his defense against Curry. So 7 points is pretty likely. McConnell, 13 points. He's coming off the bench. I think 13's a bit high for a guy coming off the bench when he's kind of naturally a distributor as well. So just be cautious with that. But he has been getting to the 13 points pretty regularly. Harden, 13 points, 7 assists. Not the worst numbers. I don't really want to rely on him for scoring just based off what his role is in the team. But 7 assists is pretty doable. Norman at 12 points. I don't know if he's playing or not, but if he is, 11, 12 points is super, super live for Norman Powell. Gary Trent's questionable. I think he popped up midday. That makes him like a real true questionable. I don't know if he's going to play or not. But keep your eyes on it if he does play. I think 17 points is pretty live. It is a tough matchup. Oklahoma tends to do pretty good against the guard position, but this guy can shoot the ball, so don't discount him for sure. If he's in the game, they're going to need him, and he's live to get to 17. Vassell at 17 points. Yeah, I don't mind it. It shows pretty tough, but Vassell's, the usage and the minutes and everything have been there. So Vassell at 17. And he tends to get right around that number pretty regularly. So I don't mind the 17 points. Simons, he's questionable. I think he was questionable the other day. He did play through it. So 23 points. It's against Clippers. Pretty tough matchup. I think he can get there. I don't love it because of the matchup, but it is a live bet. Scoot, 12 points. I like that a little bit more, even though it is a rookie and the inconsistencies. But Scoot is, and sorry, I don't mean Scoot is. I just mean 12 is kind of a low number, and he gets to that number quite frequently. If you can find it, I don't mind it. Banton's role become a lot more up in the air now that Scoot's back. So I'm not going to run to place any bets on this guy. D'Lo at 17 points. Gap filler. Could have a really good game. I think I would actually keep your eye on whether LeBron plays or not. If LeBron doesn't play, you could actually fire this bet up pretty confidently, I think. Even the same thing with Reeves. I think if one of those guys, AD or LeBron, ends up sitting, you can fire these guys up. But otherwise, they're just gap fillers. Rozier, 14 points. His numbers actually come up quite a bit because I had him at like 11, 12, 13, and it's come up. He's hitting over this pretty regularly. So if you can get him at 14 points, tough matchup, but, I don't hate it. Cade at 19 points, tough matchup, doable. Ivy at 14 points, same thing. Anthony Edwards is questionable with the finger injury, but he's been hot. He has a hot hand. It is a tough matchup. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I love 25 points on him. It's a high number, and even though he's been hitting it pretty regularly, injury, tough matchup, high number, I don't love that. And that's not to say he can't hit it. I'm just not running a place bets on it. McCollum at 11 points. He's going to benefit from Brandon Ingram being out. It's also a tough matchup, but it's a low number, so I think that's pretty reasonable. Trey Murphy, 10 points. I don't know if you'll be able to find him at this. He is probably going to start today. So, we went from being able to get him at 10 points. We probably won't be able to now. And let's pull him up, actually, and just see what... Because I know he's been hitting higher than that. And you might be able to confidently play him at a higher number. So let's just pull him up real quick. Yeah, I don't know. He only played 29 minutes yesterday, which isn't much different than what he has been playing. And you can see sometimes he's going to fall around those 10 points. But the usage, I would say there's a pretty good chance that the usage is going to go up. And he's live to go over that, just based off his role. However, I still like him at 10 points. I don't want to bet on something that I'm not, I don't feel too comfortable with. So I do feel comfortable at 10 points, maybe even 11. But you start getting much higher than that, and I'm not really loving, because it is a tough matchup. Garland, he's not shooting the ball well at all. I mean, he could easily get to 15 points, but do you really want to put money on a guy that's not, to score, that's not scoring well? I don't. I'm not doing that. LeVert, on the other hand, I feel a lot better about his points prop. His role's increased lately, and I think he has a very, very good chance of getting to the 15 points. And Niang as well. Niang at 13 points is pretty live. So anyways, these are my bets, or these are my props. And like I said, I do like Niang. I do like LeVert. I do like Murphy at 10. I like McCollum at 11. I don't mind Rozier at 14. Scoot at 12. Vassell at 17. I like the 7 assist on Harden. I like Nembhard 7 points. Siakam's 18. Halliburton's assist. Oubre's 18 points. I don't know. That one could get a little bit dicey just with Tobias coming back. If Tobias plays today, I mean, he was putting up pretty good numbers even before he set, but it could definitely change things. So keep your eye on that. I don't mind GG at a lower number. I think the 19's live, but I don't love it at 19. I'd like it more at a lower number. But let's just remind ourselves that it's volatile. It's volatile, so let's not put too much into that. I do like the JJ at 19 plus points. Kuminga at 19 plus points. I like Zion's points prop. Bam's rebound prop if he's playing. I like Allen's props. I like Tatum's props, both rebounds and points. I like Duran's points props. PG, I do like his points prop, and Kawhi's really, but again, as I mentioned earlier, a little bit lower numbers would be a little bit better. But I don't really hate even these numbers just because they have been scoring the ball really well. LeBron's points prop, if he's in, I don't mind that. I like AD rebound and points. Aldama's rebound prop, and then Wemby's rebound and potentially blocks. I mean, you can look at it. So anyways, these are the props that I'd be most interested in. And anyways, I'm going to get to putting together some parlays. Hopefully everybody has a really good day. Hopefully you guys make a bunch of money. And, we'll do a recap at the end of the night. Best of luck to everyone. Peace out.